and welcome to another episode of Some of Our Parts, the podcast where two friends talk about the movies that add up to make us who we are. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Jim. And this week it was Lindsay's selection. And Lindsay, what'd you pick for us this week?
So, this is coming out a couple days after the 4th of July, but we're recording it just before that. So, I thought of a movie that corresponds to this time of year that actually had a strong negative impact on me when I watched it when I was a kid. And that is the movie Independence Day from 1996.
Oh, so did you see it at the movie theaters?
No.
Oh,
We
okay.
got it. My dad got it on VHS.
Oh, okay.
And like most things, he let me watch it, and he shouldn't have. Again, I was 6 years old at the time that it came out, and I found it terrifying, especially the scene where they're taking they have the alien that Will Smith brought them, and they're cutting it open to take off the exoskeleton, and it wakes up because it's not actually dead. And it attacks them. That was very scary to me at 6 years old.
That is a scary scene. Although because there's a couple of child actors in the film. I'm trying to remember how old they are. So, I mean, there wasn't any really bad language. There was a few bad words, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. The rest of it, like, I don't even remember, but that scene is like
Yeah, that's that.
seared into my brain because it was
Uh,
so traumatizing. I was like, I just remember being like, nope, I'm done. Goodbye. Leaving the room.
so with that being said, uh, have you watched the movie again?
I have since then. I don't know that I've ever, very few times have I watched it all the way through because it's a
Oh,
long
okay.
movie, but
Yeah,
I've watched
yeah.
like bits and pieces of it. It comes on TV. You
Oh,
catch a bit of it.
it's kind of a mainstay, especially
Yeah,
around this time
this
of
time
year.
of year.
Lindsay and I were just talking. It was on ABC Network last night on the movies, and I think
Hmm.
it's been recently on USA or something.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen it on a couple of times
oh,
recently.
they're running a marathon of it today on
Oh,
one of the networks. They're doing this second one. They're
oh,
running them back to back,
yeah.
all 24
I
hours.
I think part of the reason why I picked this is because I accidentally saw part of the second one. So like my family likes to go on cruises, and on the cruise line we take, there's like these two random channels that just play like random TV shows and movies. And it's
Hmm.
fun because you're like, what am I watching? You have to like use context clues unless you catch it at the beginning. Like they'll play like 911 Lone Star, and then they'll switch to like a Cocoon, and but they were randomly playing Independence Day Resurgence, which is
Right, the sequel.
the sequel that came out in 2016, and it takes place like 20 years after the first one. And right now we're at like the 30th anniversary of this movie too. So
I I
that's
I didn't realize it had been that long,
I
because
know.
I saw this in movie theaters. I remember
Mm,
going to see this because I'm a big science fiction geek, and
hmm.
um, at the time, I can't remember if Will Smith had been in any other movies at the time, but he was pretty
Yeah.
popular, around this
It
time.
was well
And
because it was like Fresh Prince. I think he was in 6 Degrees of Separation. I think that's what I read, that the producers had
okay,
seen that, and that's
oh,
part of the
okay,
reason why they were interested in him. Also because they were trying to cast Ethan Hawke, and he was like, "No, this sounds like garbage."
I didn't know that.
He thought the script was bad, so he was
Well,
like, "No."
but there's a couple of other actors, we'll get into them, that were big names though at the time. They were very popular,
Hmm. Hmm.
as far as box office and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but that's interesting though that yeah, you picked it because of the negative impact on you, that
Yeah.
it terrified you. So
Yeah. It's. I mean, we didn't say when we said impact, we didn't say it had to be good,
that was no,
but
you're
it
absolutely
sticks in
right.
my brain for that reason. And I will say one positive thing is, and if people remember the time when my dad got the VHS, he got the VHS with the holographic cover that depicted the ship blowing up the White House. But like, if you tilt it, you would see the White House blow up.
Oh, oh,
And that was thrilling to me. I brought it, I was in first grade, and I brought it to school for show and tell. Because I guess it must have come out, right? The movie came out in the summer, but the VHS came out like in the fall. So
Oh,
it was like the
okay.
beginning of first grade, and I brought it for show and tell. I was like, look at this. Isn't it
Oh,
cool?
so not the fact that you showed the movie, but just the
No,
cover
just
of
the
the
cover,
that is pretty cool.
the
That's pretty
holographic
cool.
cover of the VHS case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So inquiring minds want to know, do you still have the VHS box?
I don't know. I think my dad might have it. Well,
Oh,
I don't know if he still has it. I think it went with my parents got
oh,
divorced several years later,
oh,
so I think that some of those movies went with my dad.
oh,
And
okay. Well,
my dad has moved a lot, so I don't know what has survived all the moves.
if it's made it or not, if it's continued
Yeah.
to read. Although and
Yeah.
the other thing is, does he still have a VHS,
He
player?
definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't. That I know. Well, actually, he might. He's a high school football coach and they're always watching film, so he might have an old one.
Maybe, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
from the film the taped film days. But
I I think I still have a VHS cassette player somewhere down in the basement. So,
yeah, I have a friend who has like a one of the D VHS and DVD players.
ooh,
Yeah.
fancy. So, yeah.
Yeah. But so I will say this movie had a negative and a positive impact on me because the two things I remember most about it are that scary alien scene and the VHS cover. So it's a
Well,
mixed bag,
it
but
is
it
a pretty
stuck with
scary
me.
movie. Yeah. Oh, well, you want sounds like it. So,
Yeah,
especially
and
after
it's
30 years ago.
right,
So,
right. And it is scary, especially if you're six. Like now it's not as scary to me because like, the special effects look kind of silly and they're 30-year-old special effects at this point. So, I'm watching it with like 36-year-old eyes. But at six, it was horrible. I was like, oh my
I'm
God.
sure. Yeah. Well, especially with I thought the alien creatures were very well done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it, it
Yeah.
wasn't like not maybe the stereotypical thing. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
little green men or,
Yeah.
whatever.
And they didn't go because I feel like at this point when this movie came out, you have like the little green men, like the little I think of like the aliens you see on like t-shirts, the little green, like neon green
Yeah.
guy. Or you have the xenomorph from
Hmm.
Alien.
Alien.
And so they found something different kind of from both of them. So
Agreed.
that's good and that's creative because it would have been
And really not
boring.
humanoid either. Like,
Right.
yeah,
And it's
like a
like a
variation.
squid.
I
Like it had
know.
all the tentacles and stuff.
Now well, we'll get it through the movie. That's one of the scenes I remember seeing, and I thought, Jesus, like when he opens the hatch to the ship,
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Ugh.
because I would have been like, dude, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. And he punched it.
Yeah, well, he's a Marine, so
Welcome to Earth.
yeah.
That's the part I always remember. Oh, the other things too, like that part, I think, and this isn't just a me thing. I think everybody, welcome to Earth, and then the speech that
Oh
Bill
yeah,
Pullman,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
our Independence Day, you know?
That's iconic, I think, don't you? I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's still even out of context out of the movie. There's people
Yeah.
you hear that or see it. So
What if that's what the president reads at the America 250? He just recites that. I mean, it could happen. Herman
uh,
Cain recited like the Pokemon, like lines from the Pokemon movie one time and acted like he was giving a profound speech, and it was Mewtwo's speech from the end of the Pokemon movie.
it look, anything's possible at this point. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying no, never happened, but
Yeah. Everyone, just to be clear, we're recording this on July 3rd, so if that actually happens, if you're listening to this on July 6th and it actually happened, we're clairvoyant.
you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, we called it.
That's right. Well, Lindsay called it, so I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I was thinking about it when I heard that. I was like, what if they just read this, even though it would make no sense? Also, imagine if like the events of this movie happen now and we have the president that we have.
we've been in a world of trouble.
I feel like he would just be
Uh,
like, there's no aliens. What are you talking about?
that or I can make a deal with them.
Right, right. Or he would be like,
I can
they're not sending
negotiate.
their best. They're sending other criminals.
I'm gonna. I
I
need
think he
more
would try
money
to nuke
for
them from the
ice.
beginning. He'd try to do the nukes
That's
immediately.
what I think. Yeah. So like this, the well, we'll get into the plot. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there is a rabble rouser. At the very beginning.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah. So
So,
an alarmist. Would you call him an alarmist or a?
yeah. Well, I would call him, I don't know, not a team player.
Well, it used to be the terms were hawk and dove.
Mm-hmm.
Between the people who were wanting peace and the people who wanted war.
Yeah.
We used to call people like that hawks. It was like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first thing they think of.
Well, the problem too is not just that, it's that he was a liar the whole
Yeah,
time too.
right.
So it's like that's what I'm trying to like come up with a term that covers both that and that he was lying half the
Good,
movie.
good point. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So,
I was like a rat? Like
yeah, like a weasel. I
yeah,
don't know.
weasel. That's a good one. That's a
So,
good term. But yeah, this movie is directed by a director who does a lot of these kind of movies. The big disaster movie is his thing, and it's Roland Emmerich. He did Universal Soldier, Stargate, Godzilla, The Patriot, which is like the least like this, I guess, out of all. It's still kind of epic, but not
oh
disaster.
yeah, yeah.
The Day After Tomorrow, that one's on my list, I think.
Oh,
2012, White House Down, Midway, Moonfall, and he directed the sequel to this, Independence Day Resurgence. And I read that he co-wrote this with the writer Dean Devlin, who also is a producer, and he
oh,
worked on Universal Soldier and Stargate. They did those together, and I think when they were promoting Stargate, people asked if like he believes in aliens, and that it was sort of the genesis of this idea.
oh. Okay.
Yeah. So Dean Devlin, he worked on in addition to his movie stuff, he worked on the television series as Librarians and Leverage.
I liked librarians
Is that the
because
one Noah Wiley's on it?
yeah, well, he was in the first three. They made three
Mm,
TV movies, and then I think
hmm
he was in the beginning of that series, but he sort of like
Okay.
weaned himself off of it. So,
Yeah. So Dean Devlin also wrote, as I said, Universal Soldier, Stargate, Godzilla, Independence Day Resurgence. He wrote a movie called Geostorm. So he's done a lot of
oh yeah,
stuff with Roland Emmerich of this genre. So yeah, that's who made it. Before we start, Jim, do you believe in aliens?
yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Did I say that too quickly?
No, no. I was gonna say me too, just because,
I, would- I think I find it hard to believe that we're the only intelligent species anywhere. That
right. Like, I just think like we are made up of a bunch of different elements that exist elsewhere, right?
yeah.
So like if there are these elements elsewhere in the universe, in the galaxies, then like it makes sense that there would be somebody else. I think it would be arrogant to assume that we are the only people.
That's what I think too. I firmly believe that. And maybe it's part that we're it we're the only thing, we're the
Yeah.
only game in town. I just don't
Yeah.
I don't see that. And they don't even have to be made up of the same elements,
hmm
that could be some, because there's been science fiction stuff about,
hmm
because we're carbon based, and
hmm
they could be, based on something else. So but
Yeah.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a firm believer. So I
Yeah.
think I want to be more so than anything else. I would
hmm You're like
I
X-Files. I want to believe.
I want to believe, yeah. Look, if they came, as long as they don't want to start a fight, but
hmm
I'd be like, hey, welcome
Yeah.
aboard, you
Yeah.
know.
My other belief too is that it is a little self-centered. Like, I mean, I know that this is we're us, so of course we do this, but like the assumption in like all of our sci-fi media that like they want something to do with us. Like, I don't think they care.
That or
If there
we
are
may,
real aliens, obviously you don't get a lot of good science fiction out of that if they just mind their business. But I think in real life, they're probably just like, okay.
yeah,
Anyways.
it'd be like, or we're like the annoying neighbors that they don't want anything to do with, It's like
Yeah.
they
I
make
think
way too much noise.
we're projecting our interest in like empire and conquering onto other beings that they may not actually have. What if they're just like, no, we're good. We're chilling.
Yeah,
We actually are preserving the planet we live on, so we're good.
we've learned how not to blow each other up or how to,
Yeah.
just destroy each other. So
Yeah, we don't need to mess with you guys. You're taking care of that yourselves.
maybe that's what they're waiting on. They're just figured that we'll just, we'll self-destruct. So, and
That's
then,
true.
yeah, we'll be like we'll be like the people who have either bad drug habits or whatever that eventually we'll just end up doing ourselves in and they won't have to
Hmm.
worry about us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll be like I don't know, like vultures, you know. They don't need
Yeah.
to kill us. They'll just wait
Yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah.
see what's
Um,
left. So,
yeah. Good question though. I didn't see that one coming, but yeah, yeah, I am. So, and then I'm kind of glad well, I am glad that you are too,
yeah,
that you have,
I think it was something that like Neil deGrasse Tyson said. I think that I'm copying that like, you know, these elements exist in the universe. It would be arrogant to think that it's just us. So,
right. Yeah.
which I that's a perspective I appreciate. So,
Yeah.
well, this is a long movie with a lot of people in it. So should we start talking about it?
Let's get into the 4th of July because by the time we finish recording, it
It's
might
gonna
be the
be the
4th of
4th of
July.
July. Good one, good one. Yeah, people, just so you know, before I know people like to know this, it's on Hulu. It's coming on TV all the time, especially because it's, 30th anniversary. It's like America 250, all this stuff. So it's on Hulu. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a long one. It's a commitment, but it's a fun one. And I
Oh,
am
it's
thinking
definitely worth
now,
it.
what a way to celebrate America's 250th birthday by watching most of our major cities be destroyed and the symbols of our country be blown
Well,
up.
yeah, but and there's a lot of movies though, that sort of
Yeah.
point to that. But I was going to say, after watching the movie or knowing how long it was and stuff, this is back when they made blockbusters,
Hmm.
when they were like 2 hours or 2.5 hour
Yeah.
movies, and
Yeah.
that was you didn't think it was worth your time unless it was at least 2 hours. At least I
Yeah.
didn't used to. But
Yeah. I will say too, this was kind of an iconic summer blockbuster. Like it made the most money since Jurassic Park a couple of years before this. It sort of helped reignite the like sci-fi disaster movie thing. And then we got more of them, right? Like I think of like, I don't know, Deep Impact and Armageddon and War of the Worlds and like all those movies that came after this. I will say before we get into it, I think that it shows that to make a movie like this work, even though it's like big and stuff happening, there have to be like there are stakes, right? It's like the world, but this there also have to be like individual stakes, human like relationships that you care about.
because it's the little stories
Yes.
that build, don't you think, that build into this?
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like if you didn't care like that like Will Smith or Randy Quaid or Jeff Goldblum like make it back or Bill Pullman, like if you don't care that they make it back, then like who cares?
Right.
They blow up the aliens, but it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like we
But
knew that was going to happen, but like when there's moments that you're not sure that those individual people are going to make it, that is what makes it draws you in.
I agree 1,000%. It's not to me, it wasn't the overall big picture thing. It was
Hmm.
the individual
Hmm.
relationships that they had with other people that made you care about what happened, or at
Yes.
least, because there's, you see glimpses of other countries and stuff like that, but you don't know those, that you
Hmm.
hear that you get to know these people and their stories about, what their vested interest is.
Hmm.
It's not just the whole big picture. It's the little bits and pieces.
Yes, exactly.
So, and
Exactly.
there's one part of this movie that still makes me, and I didn't think about it, or didn't think it would until I watched it again. Makes me really sad.
There are
And
parts of it that are like genuinely moving.
yeah, um,
Yeah. I wonder what part that is for you. it makes me wonder now because there was a
I'll
part
let
that
you know when we get to it, but
yeah, there are
yeah.
parts that I put like sad faces in my
Oh,
notes.
oh yeah, that where I get little, I got a little choked up,
Yeah.
watching it, and then listening to the characters,
Hmm.
as they express their feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
um,
if anyone's going to write a big disaster movie, keep that in mind. Um,
that's right. It's not
I'll
all
keep it in
about
mind for myself.
the big giant spaceships and their big great weapons and stuff. It's
Yeah,
about the little people that make up those stories. Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
So,
So, well, sorry, I've delayed us enough.
no, 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 you're fine. So,
Let's talk about the movie then. So,
let's
it starts with we see the moon and the flag that was planted on the moon and the plaque that commemorates the moon landing in 1969. Do you remember the moon landing?
supposedly,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Do you remember that, Jim? Did you watch
Oh
it on
gosh.
TV?
Oh, so, and I'm sorry, I'm going to digress just
Hmm.
a touch here. My dad and I were fascinated by all the space stuff because I
Hmm.
was a kid when all this was happening. So we
Yeah.
had a telescope. We used to watch the rockets, even,
Hmm.
because we would try to watch. We watched every spaceship take off or
Hmm.
space launch. And yes, I remember distinctly, it was on a Sunday night
Hmm.
when they showed the images of us of us landing on the moon. I
Hmm.
distinctly remember that. Yeah, very much so. So, and
Nice.
yes, I
Nice.
still believe that it's real.
Yes. Me too. And if you don't, Buzz Aldrin will punch you in the face.
That's right. And still can probably.
Yeah.
So,
So, but then as we see this image and we hear the sort of like one step for man, one giant leap for mankind, like all that stuff. Uh, there's like scary music building up, and then we see this like huge spaceship like flying towards the Earth from the
we're
direction of the
talking
moon.
immense.
Big, big, huge. And there's a place called SETI. It's Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Unit. And they're clearly they don't expect to get a lot of business there because the guy's putting and he's listening to um, rather tellingly he's listening to "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM. And suddenly they're getting signals and he calls his boss who gets up so fast he hits his head. And they come in and they're like, oh crap, the signal is coming from like the moon.
The moon. Yeah, it's close. It's like, how
Yeah.
far away
They're
is
like,
it?
it's only 300,000 kilometers away. It's like the moon. So then they get in touch with Space Command at Pentagon, which I didn't know was a thing, but I guess there is for the satellites. Well, now we have Space Force. So,
Well,
um,
and I don't know if you've seen this recently. The Army now has an official space branch. I
interesting.
saw, and it's true. I mean, it was on. I saw a thing. It was on Military Times or whatever, and
Hmm.
it's like the Army's own Space Force, I guess. But
Hmm.
but I don't know what they do that Space Force doesn't do. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
Well, I guess it's like the same, like the Army and Navy have pilots,
right.
even
So
though there's the Air Force.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, good point. So, but
So
I didn't know that we needed another one.
I didn't either. I'm not even
But
sure what the Space Force does. But I guess we have a lot of satellites. Maybe someone watched this movie and they were like, "Well, we should keep an eye out."
I have a question. Is
Mhm.
SETI still a thing? Is it still even
I don't know.
funded? Because that was a big deal when I was a kid, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Because we used to send
Um,
the little packages out with like the recordings and stuff of human voices and, almost like a time capsule thing, on the satellite, like Voyager and stuff like that.
hmm. There is a
So,
SETI.org.
is there? Okay, so it's
Hmm.
still kind of surprised that it's
They
still
do
funded.
research. Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, you can donate, so I don't know if they're like funded, but
Is that because that's the ones that run all the tracking stations or whatever, or have the
yeah,
big
it's a
satellite
nonprofit.
dishes?
So it's
Oh,
not
there
like a
you go.
government agency, it's a nonprofit.
Oh, okay,
So, but yeah, they still do research. At the
Cool.
SETI Institute, we explore the origins of life, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and the mysteries of the cosmos.
There you go.
Yeah, they do. They have a Carl Sagan Center for Research.
Nice. Uh,
But yeah, so at the Pentagon, Space Command is talking about it, and they decide to wake up the Secretary of Defense because they're like, okay, there's a huge spaceship heading our way from the moon, which is not that far away. And then we see the president, President Whitmore, who is a veteran, presumably of the Gulf War, I guess,
yeah, he
um,
was
a fighter pilot in
Gulf.
the Gulf War. And his approval ratings are not good. It seems like people expected him to be a little tougher, but he's like too compromising. Uh, so they were like, and they're criticizing him because of his age and da da da. They think he's weak.
Yeah, and he's young. He's
Hmm.
he's kind of a young guy, and then yeah, they expected what was one of the reporters, they expected a warrior and they got a wuss or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so it's like really,
Yeah. And he's talking to his wife and she's in California. She's about to come home. They have a little daughter and named Patricia, I think, who he lets stay up and watch Letterman. I guess that's like a universal dad thing 'cause my dad also let me watch things I shouldn't watch.
Oh, did he? Okay, he
Yeah.
let you stay up late and watch TV.
Yeah. And he let me watch this movie. But so the Secretary of Defense calls the president and tells him about the ship. And then we'll just say who's who there. So the president Whitmore is played by Bill Pullman. This is our second movie featuring Bill Pullman. He was in A League of Their Own, but you might also know him from Spaceballs, Casper, While You Were Sleeping, Sleepless in Seattle, Lost Highway, Lake Placid, The Sinner. Uh, his daughter Patricia is played by Mae Whitman, who's been in a ton of things also. She's an actor. She was on she's like an adult now, so she looks different, of course. She was on Arrested Development, Chicago Hope. She's in One Fine Day, Hope Floats, Jag,
Oh,
Parenthood,
and
the remake Perks of Being a
oh,
Wallflower, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Um, yeah, she's in a bunch of things.
she your age?
Yeah,
Okay, and
yeah,
heir
she's
to the
born.
Whitman Chocolate Company.
I don't think so, but wouldn't that be great if she was?
Rats, I know. Rats.
Um, but yeah, she's in a ton of things. And then his wife Marilyn is played by Mary McDonnell, also in a lot of things. She was in Dances with Wolves, Passion Fish, Battlestar Galactica. She's the mom in Donnie Darko, which we will see her in because we're gonna watch that. She was on The Closer and Major Crimes, and she was on a few episodes of ER. She played Dr. Carter's mother,
Oh, I forgot about that.
like the rich
Yeah,
mom.
yeah. I most remember her from Dances with Wolves.
Hmm.
I think she won an Academy Award for that,
I
or at
think
least
so,
was nominated.
something like that.
Yeah.
We also meet the president's press secretary in these scenes because she's showing him the headlines about how they're calling him a wuss. Her name's Constance. She is played by Margaret Collin. She was on As the World Turns, Gossip Girl. She's in Three Men and a Baby, Unfaithful. She was on the show Veep. So she's been around steadily over the years. And the Secretary of Defense, Albert Nimzicki, is played by James Rebhorn, who is one of those character actors that I think you've seen in something. I also
He,
didn't realize he died. Did you know he died in 2014? I thought he was still alive.
no,
Maybe because I keep watching his movies. But
he wasn't
yeah,
that old, was he?
no, he had melanoma.
Oh,
He was only
God.
like 65.
Oh, geez.
Um, but yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. Just a couple of things. My cousin Vinny, Basic Instinct, Scent of a Woman, Meet the Parents. He was on Law and Order in like various roles. Third Watch, White Collar. He's been in a bunch of stuff. So yeah, we kind of get the set the scene at the White House and then cut to New York City in a park and we see a guy David Levinson playing chess with his father Julius and then he has to go to work And he works at like a sort of cable company or cable like news station kind of thing or
Yeah,
something,
some
some sort
sort
of
of
TV thing.
right where they do they work with the satellites and the broadcast and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and when he arrives, the signals are being disrupted. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on. And he looks into it. And he's like, we don't know this totally yet, but he's like a genius. Like he went to MIT and studied like engineering there. So he's like crazy genius. And his dad is at some point is like, you went to MIT, you could do anything you want. You become a cable repairman.
He's like, by the way, Lindsay does a pretty good job of imitating his
It's
dad.
yeah, he's played the dad is played by Judd Hirsch, who is doing this sort of very stereotypical like Jewish New York Jewish parent in this movie. So that's the accent. Um, and then we see the beginning is sort of like we're meeting kind of all the players that are eventually going to come together. So it does feel like we're all over the place. So then we're in California and we meet there are these people living in a trailer and it's Russell Case and his three kids and he's like a alcoholic Vietnam veteran who says he was abducted by aliens. He's a crop duster. He's crop dusted the wrong field. So like they're about to lose business and they're clearly like, not doing super well to begin with. And then back up to the sort of mothership, we see these sort of smaller ships that are shaped like it's like a flying saucer, right? They're like
Yeah, they're sort of like saucer shaped.
yeah, like sort of flat discs detach from the mothership and then kind of fly on from there. And the members of the military, Secretary of Defense, are meeting with the president and they're telling him that these things are coming and they're entering our atmosphere within the next 25 minutes. And we start seeing them show up. So first there's one that shows up over the desert in Iraq. And then we see like there's a submarine in the Persian Gulf that's like trying to pick it up, but like again, it's like jamming signals and their infrared is all messed up. But then they can finally see this like huge circle, almost like it's like eclipsing the sun almost.
Yeah, yeah. There. I mean,
Um,
we're talking. What they said at one point that how big it was, and then it broke off. It was like, but
mhm.
it was
Yeah, like the
huge.
big
It was
one
like
was like kilometer, like miles wide, and these are still like miles wide.
right,
Like the one
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
over Manhattan like covers Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah. So, like the whole military is trying to figure it out, but they can't. All of their equipment, all their signals are malfunctioning. And like the Air Force is sending a plane to investigate, and it ended up just like catching on fire, basically, just right into a huge fireball.
I know it looks like it's like, and they keep saying, "Oh, we don't, we have zero visibility," and then when it finally, oh, it's clearing up, and it's like they're flying into hell or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like this rolling fire. It's like
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. And there's one coming for Washington so that you can see they're starting to see that they're coming over like major cities. So there's one coming over LA, New York, Washington, and then like Rome and like London, all these major cities,
Moscow.
Moscow, around the world. And the president doesn't want to leave the White House. Like they're saying we should evacuate. And he says he doesn't want to leave because he doesn't want to create panic. And so he says stays. But back in New York, David says he realizes that the signal is like reducing and it's like almost like counting down to a point, and like that doesn't seem good. He's
Yeah.
like putting together that like this is building towards something. And so everyone in that building is going, there's a bomb shelter. And so they're all evacuating. And
And don't you got to mention his boss.
his boss is Harvey Firestein, who like he's like, oh my God, what's happening? David, what's going on? That's my best. It makes my throat hurt to do Harvey
I
Parks.
was gonna read. I don't know what Harvey ever did to his voice or why it sounds like it. He must have smoked like 100 packs of Marlboros a day or
When
something.
he was like 12.
I, but my God, but he, I love Harvey. I love Harvey the way he overreacts to everything, and
Yes.
he's so verklempt,
Right. But
as
then
he
he
would.
like underreacts at like the big moment. He's just
The
like,
wrong.
oh
Oh
no.
no, it's like yeah. But anyway, so sorry, I just had to bring
No,
that up. So
no worries. And then back in California, everyone's making fun of Russell, all the guys around town, for being a drunk and saying he was abducted by aliens.
they all insinuate that yeah, they did sexual
Yeah.
atrocities to him while he was being abducted, and
Yeah.
probes and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
poor
And
Russ.
they obviously don't take him seriously.
No,
Um,
not at all.
and then,
Even his kids kind of.
yeah, his kids are kind of like disappointed in him, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, especially the oldest son, because he has like a son, a daughter. The middle daughter is the oldest daughter from Mrs. Doubtfire. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah.
I did not
Which
know
we'll
that.
watch at some point. But yeah. And then a younger son. And it's clear that they're just like, they know that their dad is like a screw up,
Yeah,
kind of.
like you said, especially the oldest son.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, he's the one who went to him. He's like, Dad, you cropped us to the wrong field. Like, this guy's field, because the guy whose field they were supposed to crop dust came and was like, look at all my dead crops. I'm going to
Yeah,
find someone else. So he's like, his field is on the other side of town. Dad, what are you doing? Because he's flying his little biplane, like, wasted, which is not a good way to do it, I would reckon.
I would think not. Yeah, especially if you're spraying chemicals.
Yeah, yeah. So stuff starts shaking, and they're in California. So some people, such as Captain Steve Hiller, is like, it's a earthquake, go back to sleep. This is it's funny because so Captain Hiller is Will Smith, and when I remember this movie, I think of Will Smith as the main character. I think mostly because I think of the Welcome to Earth moment, but it's 30 minutes in before we see him at all, so he's actually
It,
really not the main character.
no, and it's kind of a brief introduction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we see him just
um,
for a second, and then we come back to him.
yeah, yeah. True.
But panic is starting to ensue in all the major cities because these huge things are coming to like park over
Right.
the Empire State Building, the White House, downtown LA, like, and people are like, what the hell? This is the kind of things that would make like, these are like the disasters foretold by like the ancients, right?
Hmm.
Like you can imagine reading like a on a cave painting. It's like a big thing came and blocked out the sun. It's the end of the world.
As we know it.
So there's like people running and like cars crashing because people are stopping to look at stuff. And then the president wants to address the nation. And Stephen Hiller, finally gets up and he sees like the neighbors packing. And he's like, oh my God, they're packing because of the earthquake. But then he goes outside to get the paper and everyone is packing. It's not just the one guy next door, it's everyone on the street. And he looks kind of straight ahead and he can see the ship over LA. And he's like, oh, oh, that's what's okay.
Yeah,
That's what's
that's
happening.
that's
That's a little different.
that could yeah, that wasn't there yesterday.
Hmm. Back in New York, Jeff Goldblum, realizes that the ships are going to blow stuff up. Like that's what it's counting down to. They're going to. And his ex wife is Constance, the White House communications director. So he calls her to say she needs to leave Washington. And she's like, oh, we're having this conversation again. Because clearly, like, that's her career is sort of what they've been divorced for years. He still wears his wedding ring. That's what prompted their divorce, that she was pursuing this career. So she's like, oh my God, you've always been telling me to leave Washington. He's like, no, like literally, please leave Washington. But she doesn't listen to him. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna drive to Washington then. Stephen Hiller is Captain Stephen Hiller is a Marine pilot at El Toro base in California, which I don't know if that's
I
a
don't think it's
real.
real. I
I think
don't
it's
think
fake.
so.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
reference some real ones like 29 Palms is real,
Hmm.
and like they're the first lady who's in California. They're going to get her to Nellis, which is in
Nevada.
yeah, it's like right outside of Vegas. So like
Yeah.
that's real. So yeah, he's going in. His girlfriend Jasmine and her son Dylan, who he's with, like Jasmine's like, I don't want you to go. Like this is concerning to her, obviously. And he's like, how about like just meet me later at the base and you guys can stay there with me so that, you can be safe and we can all be together. The president wants his daughter taken to his wife and his daughter taken to Nellis. And then Russell, meanwhile, was taken to jail for being like drunk and disorderly in public and shouting about his alien abduction. And but he's released, I guess, because they're like, we don't have the resources to like keep everybody in jail. We're trying to figure
We
out what's happening.
we got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, so they
So
let him go, and his kids are like, "We're about to leave," and he's like, "Just what I was thinking. Let's go." And I love one of the things at this point, like you hear like the news broadcasts and radio and stuff, and they're like, "The LAPD asks that you do not fire your guns at the spacecraft. Only in America.
well, maybe
Only."
not. There's other countries that shoot their guns up in the air and stuff. So I'm just,
Yeah. So okay, maybe not just us, but
but I get you. Yeah.
so yeah, stuff is getting real. We'll check in on who we've met so far, just to update it, because there's a lot of people. So Captain Stephen Hiller, played by Will Smith, who everyone knows from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and from being a rapper. Perhaps you've heard some of his songs like Getting Jiggy With It, Miami, Wild Wild West, the Men in Black song. He was also in Bad Boys, the Bad Boys franchise, the Men in Black franchise, Wild Wild West, which is a terrible movie, but I think it's on my list.
It's awful.
Um, 6 Degrees of Separation, Enemy of the State, Ali, The Pursuit of some good movies too, right? Ali, The
Yeah,
Pursuit of
yeah, yeah.
Happiness, nominated for Oscars for both of those. He won an Oscar for King Richard. Also at that Oscars, he slapped Chris Rock in the face on television. He was in Hitch, I, Robot, Hancock, Shark Tale, and the live action remake of Aladdin. He's also married to Jada Pinkett Smith, who actually was gonna be. She was offered the Vivica A. Fox part, but she did Nutty Professor instead.
Okay.
Which,
So
I like
yeah,
that movie too. I think it's on my list. It was less traumatizing to me. I will say that for sure. But yes, that's Will Smith. David Levinson, played by Jeff Goldblum, who you know from the Jurassic Park movies, certainly. Uh, we have met him actually. He was a voice in The Prince of Egypt. He was Moses' brother Aaron in The Prince of Egypt.
oh, okay.
Um, but he was also in The Fly, The Big Chill, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Thor Ragnarok. He's the wizard in the Wicked movies. And he's in a bunch of Wes Anderson movies. Like, I think he's in Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Grand Budapest Hotel, Asteroid City, all of that. His father, Julius Levinson, played by Judd Hirsch. I think my favorite character in this movie, honestly. Judd Hirsch, you might know from the television program Taxi. He was also on other television programs, including Dear John and Superior Donuts. Movies include Ordinary People, for which he was nominated for an Oscar, A Beautiful Mind, Uncut Gems. He is in Independence Day Resurgence, as is Jeff Goldblum. And he was nominated for The Fablemans, where he plays the grandfather. He's really good in that movie. I really like Judd Hirsch, I think,
Oh,
just generally.
he's an excellent actor
Yeah.
and could do a variety of roles from comedy to serious drama. So
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm. Yeah.
agreed. Yeah,
I feel like he brings just he has a good like kind of sarcasm and stuff, but he also brings kind of like a heart and sincerity at the same time, which I think
I,
is like attractive. Draws you into him as an actor.
I agree. Yeah, there's something centered about him, or
Hmm.
more really down to earth. Uh, I guess is what how I would describe it. Like,
Yeah. Not to like be appropriative, but a mensch, if you would. Um, let's see. Russell Case, played by Randy Quaid. We have met Randy Quaid also in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where he plays a similarly not so kind of person, which was also kind of his vibe in real life.
he was also a veteran in Christmas Vacation, remember, because the VA put a plate in his head. So,
Yes. Also causing issues with signals. Um,
right, exactly.
Other movies he was in, The Last Detail, Midnight Express. He played Lyndon Baines Johnson in LBJ, The Early Years, brother of Dennis Quaid. Vivica A. Fox is in this movie too. This is the second movie we've seen her in. She plays Will Smith's girlfriend Jasmine. She was in Days of Our Lives. We met her in in Kingdom Come. I mean, she was in
Oh,
Kingdom
right.
Come.
Yeah.
But she was also in on Days of Our Lives and Generations. She was in the movies Set It Off, Out All Night. She's in the Kill Bill movies. She's really good in those.
I
She's one
forgot
of the,
that.
yeah, I love that. She has one of the best fights with Uma Thurman where they're like fighting and her daughter comes in and they just stop because she has like her gun inside a cereal box.
I
They
forgot
just
about
pretend that they weren't fighting and then they keep fighting. She's in Soul Food, Ella Enchanted. And then the last person on the list, I'll just say it because we're going to see him in a second if we haven't already, but the commandant of the Marines, General Gray, played by Robert Loggia, who was also in Jagged Edge, Big. He's the voice in Oliver and Company, Scarface, Prizzy's Honor, The Greatest Story Ever Told, An Officer and a Gentleman, lots of things. Anything you want to add, Jim? I know you said you.
He's one of my favorite supporting actors. He just to me he embodies the tough guy. He's that
Mm,
gravelly voice of his, and he's
mm,
he's got a face when you see it. It's like this guy means business. He looks like he could
yeah.
bite nails.
He should have been in The Godfather. I
I,
looked at him and I was like, why isn't he in The Godfather? He's an Italian dude. His real name is Salvatore.
I know. Don't you think he would have made a great addition to that cast? I mean, as an
Yes.
enforcer or
Mm-hmm.
a
Him and
capo.
him and Clemenza.
Yeah, he could have been, one of those guys. So
Mm-hmm. For
anyway,
sure.
yeah, so I've always liked him. So
Yeah. So, Hiller has come to the base to get with his, squadron. He's the leader of a flight squadron. And his best friend, uh, I can't even remember the character's name because I just know the actor.
Jimmy,
Jimmy. It is Jimmy. You're correct. Of course, it's Jimmy. You would remember that. Played by Harry Connick Jr. I just wrote Harry Connick Jr. in my notes because this part was going to be played by Matthew Perry, but I guess he had to pull out. Maybe he had friends commitments or something.
I
But
didn't.
yeah,
Oh, huh,
which
that's
it would
interesting.
have been an interesting role for him. But Harry Connick Jr. plays his best friend, and one of the things that we learned that Hiller's always wanted to do is be an astronaut, work for NASA, and he has a letter from NASA sticking out of his locker, but it is a rejection letter, which is sad. So, which I think that's supposed to sort of play into his storyline. I will say that I'm just like, I don't care. Like that was less compelling to me than some of the other smaller storylines.
Yeah, I kind of got the, yeah, as the movie unwinds and stuff, you sort of see, like, oh, he sort of, becomes, that without having to go
Yeah.
through NASA. So,
Yeah, yeah. And we learn in this scene too that like so he's been with his girlfriend Jasmine for however long and Jimmy's like, I thought you were gonna break it off. And he's like,
hmm
I know I should have because he has a ring. Jimmy finds a ring like to propose to her. And this is also after Jimmy saying you gotta lick ass to get ahead in this world. And he's like talking in great detail about how to do that most effectively. But basically, he was saying he should have broken up with Jasmine because she's a stripper and you can't, like, NASA's not going to hire you while you're with a stripper. And I was like, I don't like that. Also, because she really shows up in this movie, okay? Exotic dancer or not, she's getting things
Agreed.
done.
Yeah. So
She saves the
agreed.
life of the first lady. Anyways,
And has other skills besides. exotic dancing.
Right. Like taking tow trucks and saving people.
She can drive a, yeah, she can drive a, I said, I didn't know they taught that in exotic dancing school, how to
She's a
drive a
woman
tow
of many
truck.
talents.
Exactly.
This part too, although this part was they cut to she's dancing. She's at the club dancing. I wrote not her still working during an alien invasion. Who is at the
Well,
club? Who's at the club right now? There's only it didn't look very crowded.
well, and the ones that were there weren't paying much attention to her because they were watching the news. And she, you see, she's kind of
She's
like,
gonna like
really,
she's like,
come
I
on,
only even
fellas.
came in to pick up my check and they got me to dance. And one of her
Hmm.
friends is gonna go. There's all these people with like signs like "Welcome aliens, we're so happy to see you," and she's gonna go do that, like stand on top of a building. And Vivica Jasmine's like, "Girl, please don't do that. Just like get out of here and be safe. Please don't do that."
Just, yeah, just leave. Promise me you won't do it. And
Yeah. Spoiler alert: she does not listen. She does not heed this advice.
no,
So David goes and picks up his dad, Julius, to drive to Washington because David doesn't have a car or a driver's license. I love it. He says, "Dad, we're driving to Washington." He's like, "You don't have a driver's license." And he's like, "You're driving."
yeah.
And what was funny too is that when the dad opens the door, he has his gun and he's like, "The looters are already out." Dad, don't shoot me. But they're going to warn people in Washington because he's learned this about the signals that they're like counting down to like kaboom. And we learned that they get there. He looks up his ex-wife Constance and calls her, and he's like, "Look, I'm outside." He's like, "Look out the window," and he's outside the gates of the White House, like
Wait,
waving.
and he's got this device or whatever he puts on the roof.
Yeah,
This we're going to triangulate her phone signal, and we're
yeah.
going to do all this and stuff. I also like the fact that they're the only ones driving into Washington D.C. and
Everyone
everybody
else is
else is
leaving.
like
Yeah, you
leaving.
see like the road. It's like 95 North is like packed, and
And
they're the only car on
they're
95
the
South
I know.
going in.
Wouldn't you think that you would just switch over and drive on the other
Yeah.
road? I would,
Yes.
wouldn't you? I mean,
Yes.
it's yes, it's like yeah. Anyway, so
We also learned um David previously fought the president before he was the president because his dad's like, "You fought the president?" And he's like, he wasn't the president at the time because he thought he was
right,
having an affair with his wife Constance, but they were just working because he has a
yeah.
wife too. Um, Kind of at the same time this is happening, they have helicopters approaching the spaceships, like marine helicopters or whatever.
It's got the big light thing,
Yes,
big
they're
light
like,
bar. Yeah, they call it the welcome wagon.
they're like
You know,
flashing the lights at them
yeah,
to, it's kind of like,
shades of close encounters of the third kind. It's
um, and David, finally, the president's like, "Ugh, like, why is this man here to talk to me?" But David tells him, you know, they are using our own satellites against us, right? Because he draws a picture like they're around the Earth and they can't beam a signal,
right.
through the Earth. So they're bouncing stuff off of our own satellites to use against us, right?
They're coordinating, yeah, their
They're
positions.
coordinating with each other to then like blow stuff up. And the clocks are ticking. And so the president finally is like, "Okay, we need to evacuate the cities, pull the helicopters away." But the helicopters at this point are already being like the side of the ship like opens up and then kaboom,
Yep.
the
Yep.
helicopters are done. Um, and so full scale evacuation is starting everywhere. So everyone's evacuating the White House, including David and Julius. They get to come. They're in Marine One, and then they fly to Andrews. Shout out to Andrews. My dad was born there, and to get on Air Force One. And everyone is leaving L.A. and New York City and D.C. and there are still people like welcoming the aliens, and the traffic's backed up everywhere. And then in LA, Jasmine's friend goes to the top of a building and they're like
Oh,
welcoming the
Tiffany.
aliens.
I wrote her name down.
Tiffany.
It's Tiffany. Yeah.
And the bottom center of the ship starts to open up and it's like glowing in blue. And she goes, "Wow, it's so pretty." And then boom, it's like the laser beam from the middle. They all go at the same time. So like
Yeah.
LA, New York, New York it's like over the Empire State Building, and then in DC it's over the White House. But it's not just it's a huge explosion. So this like wall of fire, just like we saw earlier, like spreads and
Yeah.
incinerates like everything in its path. So people are like running, getting out of their cars and running. Um,
To little avail.
yeah,
I hate to say it. It's yeah.
yeah,
I wrote at least it was quick.
yeah. And we see like so Tiffany dies. We see Harvey Firestein dies, and at this point, he was like freaking out earlier, and he just goes, he like sees in his rearview mirror like the fire coming. He's just like, oh no,
Yeah, because he's in his car. But
yeah,
I loved how he called his mother and he goes, "Go to aunts with so and so. Go to your sisters."
yeah.
And
And he's trying to call his therapist, and they're like, he's not in the office. He's like, for $300 an hour, he should be available anytime.
you better plug me into it. So
Yes.
yeah.
And then it's just like cars and bodies are being
Oh,
thrown, and Air Force One like narrowly escapes. Like it's like shaking. It's like the fire is like right behind it. So it's like just kind of outrunning it.
and the lights are dimming in the
Yeah.
aircraft, and you see that is it's very suspenseful to me because you see
Mm-hmm.
it's like the overhead shot, and it's like right on its
So
tail.
close. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
then we see Jasmine is stuck in traffic because she was trying to drive to the base to meet Steven, and it's her and her son and the dog. And she sees people running and she turns and she sees the fire and they get out and run. And she kind of dives into like they're under a tunnel and there's like this sort of door in the side of the tunnel
It's like a
with
maintenance.
like maintenance.
Yeah, it's a
And but it's
metal
like and it
door.
yeah, it's metal door and like surrounded by concrete. So she dives in there and the dog almost like the dog is just sitting there and she's like, "Come on, come on." And the dog like just makes it in.
It, this I was more worried about the dog, is what I wrote. Was it
I
Boomer?
know.
Was the dog's
Something
name
like that.
Boomer?
Something like
Boomer.
that. Yeah.
I
I will
was
also
worried
just
Boomer wasn't going to be,
I
because
know.
you can kill 1,000 people, but if you hurt
The
the dog,
dog. Yeah, there's so many movies. Like I think of oh, another Will Smith movie I didn't mention, I Am Legend. The dog in I Am Legend.
well,
Sadder to me than the entire human race.
John Wick.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what sets him off.
it sets it off.
They go, "You killed his dog."
Hmm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. I also just want to briefly shout out Jasmine's son Dylan is played by the actor Ross Bagley, who to me he is so there was a Little Rascals movie that came out in the 90s that I grew up watching. He plays Buckwheat in that
That's
Little
where I
Rascals
knew him.
movie.
He did. I remember that movie.
And he was also in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So like when they have another little kid, Nikki, that's
Mm,
him.
okay.
Um, but yeah, I always remember him as Buckwheat.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, and Whoopi Goldberg plays his mom in that.
in the Little Rascals movie.
Yes, which we will definitely be watching. I think it's on my list. We'll be watching that at some
Um,
point.
Can I just say at this point, like with all this, like with the cars being stuck and stuff, so I always said that if I ever win the lottery, one of the first things I would ever do is I would either buy or I would rent a helicopter, because that's the
Mm,
only way I would travel. And not to brag, but having flown in a helicopter a couple of times working for the VA, that
mm.
is a great way to beat traffic. I'm just saying
Well,
that was we left Maryland, and we're up in Fort Dix, New Jersey in like 30 minutes. It was fabulous. So, just
that's
saying.
what
Yeah, I thought it was like I said, I thought it was, to beat traffic. And I wasn't even that comfortable because we it was like a
it's
regular.
tight. They pack you pretty tight in there.
Yeah, and we're like in like regular military seats, with the
Mm,
big harness and stuff like that.
mm.
So, but it was fun. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so I can see why rich people travel by
Hmm.
helicopter. So,
Hmm. So yeah, that was July 2nd. So the in the like timeline of the movie, that's July 2nd when this first
hmm
attack happened. So now it's July 3rd and we see like the Statue of Liberty has like fallen down. It's in the river and stuff's not looking good. Um Russell and his kids are driving. The president is on the Air Force One feeling very bad that he didn't call for an evacuation earlier. because he was, he's trying not to create panic, and then it turned out to be the wrong call. Which,
Right.
I mean, he was trying to do the right thing. It
He
just
was.
he didn't he was trying to do the right thing with the information that he had. As soon as he had new information, he did make the call.
Hmm.
It's just hard. It seems like his wife died. I mean, spoiler alert, I already said she's not dead, but well, she has not
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Um because they lost a signal. Her helicopter never made it to Nellis, and they like
Well,
lost they lost communication with them.
right.
So, and like as far as they know, like LA is destroyed, and that's where she was. So, Jasmine and her son and her dog emerge. They've survived, and they walk out, and it's just like ruins of LA. Um, and Hiller's squadron, the Black Knights, are about to launch a counterattack. And so they fly up and they're shooting, but the ship has like a protective force field. And then it launches a bunch of tiny little ships out to shoot at them. I did right here the special effects, LOL. Um, just see like the force field and like the explosions and
Yeah.
stuff. Um, but the little ships also have the force field, so a bunch of the other Black Knights are being killed. Like it's just there's
Yeah.
nothing they can do.
Their missiles just explode on the force field
Yeah.
and stuff.
So they're just kind of being picked off, and Jimmy Harry Connick Jr. is killed. It's very sad. Um, and I love they have this ritual that they always bring cigars with them into battle to like because they know they're going to win, and that's what they're going to light the cigar when they win. But they can't light them until the fat lady sings. Like,
Right. Till it's over.
yeah.
Um,
So, and then a bunch of the ships come to the base to El Toro and are attacking there. But Hiller is still alive. He's basically just has to sort of do evasive maneuvers because he can't shoot at the this alien ship that's pursuing him. So he kind of flies into a canyon and
and
then
he
is
turns into Pete Maverick.
basically, yeah, he
That's what I wrote. He turns into Maverick.
he does. He's like doing all these maneuvers and he deploy ultimately like what saves him. He deploys his parachute to like cover like the front window, like the windshield of the alien ship, and he ejects and lets his ship crash into a wall, and then the alien ship does too. And then this is when he goes over to the alien ship and opens it up, and you see the alien, and it's like, ugh. And he
It's
punches it
like
and says,
this.
"Welcome to Earth."
It's like this, this ugly head, but it's all these tentacles wiggling around, and
Yes.
it's like I'd be like, Jesus, mother,
Ooh.
like
I
because
would just leave and be like, I'll tell you where to find it. I wasn't touching that though.
or just shoot it. I mean, he's carrying a pistol, I'm sure,
Right.
as a pilot, but he
Yeah.
punches it.
He
It's
punches
like,
it.
and evidently he hits hard because later on he does become Muhammad Ali.
He does. Yes. Somebody was like, that punch. That makes me think
Yeah,
of something.
yeah,
Um,
you could play a boxer.
yeah.
Sorry.
So meanwhile, Jasmine, again, she's she's brave and resourceful. She finds a tow truck. She gets it going. She gets her son, her dog in there, and she's driving around finding survivors. So eventually the back of this truck is full of people.
Right. She's picking up stragglers,
Mm-hmm.
survivors. Yeah, she's and I even wrote down like really out of all the people, Jasmine has to keep driving. It's like somebody can't get it. Oh, wait a minute, I drive one of these for a living, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Jasmine, you go, you got
Mm-hmm.
it. So,
Yeah. So see, don't be talking about her like being an exotic dancer. Who cares?
I know, really. So, besides, she looked good
On
up on stage. Just
she
saying.
did. She did. She looked great.
Yeah.
Good for
So,
her.
yeah.
Uh, on Air Force One, I love David. Jeff Goldblum is airsick. He always gets airsick, and his dad is like, his father, Julius, is like, "We're in Air Force One, and you're still throwing up all the time. Oh my goodness!" It's like embarrassing. And the president and his advisors, General Gray and the Secretary of Defense, they're talking about what to do, and they want to connect with NORAD, um, which is it stands for something. I just know them as they do the Santa tracker.
It's the North America North something something
I have to Google
radar
it.
something
North
defense.
American Air Defense Command.
Yeah.
which is in Colorado. So they are kind of calling on them to help kind of figure out what's going on. And the Joint Chiefs are there, the Vice President is there, and then someone comes in and says, NORAD is gone. The
Right.
aliens destroyed NORAD.
Yep.
And so the Secretary of Defense is like, we should nuke them. And the president is like, and kill everybody. Actually, I think Jeff Goldblum, David is like,
Yeah.
and kill everybody on the ground. Like, no.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Julie is also it is hilarious that there's just like there's no like operational security anymore. There's just like stuff's happening so anyone can just walk into a conversation with the president. So David walks in and then his dad Julius comes in and he's like, you all have like known about this forever, these aliens with like what's that place? Roswell in the area 51 and the president's like, sir, that's not real. And then the Secretary of Defense is like, well, actually.
That's not entirely true, Mr. President.
Yeah. Because it turns out he used to be the head of the CIA. So that stuff is real, and he's known about it the whole time. To quote Sally Field and Mrs. Doubtfire, the whole time. Um, the whole time. So yeah, this is why I'm like, not only is he a hawk, he's a liar. He's like the
That,
worst. He's like what everyone think the horrible stereotype of like CIA people.
right. Or the typical bureaucrat, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I was thinking of all the people you don't tell the president of the United
Right.
States, you don't read him in. It,
Im
it,
Immediately, at
it,
least
ma-
if not day one of his presidency, as soon as you all start seeing spaceships.
yeah, like,
Well, this reminds me.
boss, we might want to go to this place to go,
Yeah,
yeah, uh-huh.
there might be some information that we have.
See, even
Anyways,
David's dad knew this was real. So,
mm-hmm. The conspiracy theorists are right sometimes. Um,
exactly.
in California, Jasmine finds the first lady who's like laying under wreckage and saves her. So she should get a medal, actually, and not be disparaged for her occupation.
Exactly.
So, and in New Mexico, Hiller has the alien in his, he like wrapped it up in his parachute and he's dragging it across the desert. And I love it because he's just like, it's hot as hell out here and you smell so nasty. I was supposed to be off. I wasn't even supposed to be working today. And you all had to come here. I could have been having a hot dog and a beer. And I'm walking across the desert with your stinky ass. Like,
I know
it's like,
he's just like ranting and raving,
yeah.
and he's like, yeah, they're out in the middle of nowhere. So
Mm-hmm. But thankfully, he encounters a whole fleet of RVs, one of which is driven by Russell, who's like, "Hey, man, uh,
yeah,
can I help you out?"
who's
And this,
towing his plane behind him.
yes, and he's like, "Hey, soldier, can I help you?" And Steven is like, "Oh, I saw when I was flying up above, there's a base around here." And Russell's like, "I don't think there's a base around here." And Steven's like, "Trust me, there definitely is. It's the Area 51 base that's like a secret." So, they're going to go to Area 51. The president and them are going to Area 51. So the president goes in there. He meets the commanding officer there, who is
He looks
um
familiar. I can't think of
he
what.
is yeah he's definitely Major Mitchell. Um, he's the he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was also in the Patriot. He was on Firefly, Chuck, The Last Ship,
Oh, I knew him from Firefly.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, right. He was Animal.
Mm. So, anyways, he takes them down, and they get to meet the like scientists that have been because they have an alien and they have an alien ship from like 60 years before this, so like the 40s. um
47 when the
47, yeah.
Roswell incident took place.
Hmm. So in this movie universe that was real. They have a ship and they have aliens. So the doctor's name is
It's
Doc
real.
the doctor's name is Dr. Oken, who's played by Brent Spiner, who I know as he was Data in Star Trek The Next Generation
Yep.
and subsequent Star Trek things.
who looks every bit the wild mad scientist.
Yes. If you haven't seen this movie, they give him like this long, long, long wavy gray hair. So it's giving very mad scientist. And he like plays it very well because he's like,
Uh,
oh, oh, do you want to see it? This is very exciting.
what he's like so excited. He goes, and you can imagine they don't let us out much.
Yeah. And at one point the president
And
gets mad at him because he's like, this is so exciting, so much is happening. And the president's like, millions of people have died. What is wrong with you? And this is exciting to you?
well, I do like when he says they don't let us out much, and the president says, "I can see why."
Hmm.
It's like because yeah, he's like the biggest nerd of all. So
Yeah. So yeah, he shows them the ship and he shows them the aliens that they have. That they wore like they had worn like a protective biomechanical exoskeleton. They took it off to see them. So he has some idea of like how they work. They're they breathe oxygen. They're similar to us. Like they have
yeah,
some
frail
idea.
bodies. I mean,
Yeah.
because yeah, they can be hurt just like
Yeah.
Uh, I do like her. He goes, this is where we keep the specimens, or as we call it, the freak show.
Hmm. They do look freakish. And then the president's kind of done with him. The president's like, I don't like how excited he is about this. So he's like, okay, you talk to David. David will share his code and discoveries with you, and vice versa.
Right.
And then Hiller and the RVs show up to Area 51, and he's now in the back of someone's pickup truck with the alien, and he tells the guys at the gate like, Captain Stephen Hiller, and they're like, you can't come in here, and he was like, oh, he shows them that he pulls back the thing to show them the alien. Oh, do you want me to? I'll just leave this with you then. You guys want to take it? And they're like, oh God, go in, go in.
Let him in. Let him in. He can pass.
And this is when the Secretary of Defense talks about he's talking to the president about being the head of the CIA and knowing about all of this but not telling anyone, which to me fired immediately. They let him hang around a little bit more, but like to me I would have been like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You kept vital information from from me at a time of a threat to our national defense, which is literally your job. You're fired."
Yep. Uh, yeah.
Um
No severance pay. No pension.
yeah, do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Right. Exactly.
And Hiller tells General Gray that he wants to go back to El Toro because he had told Jasmine to go there to wait for him. And they tell him that it was destroyed. And I do think this is a very good acting moment for Will Smith because he says nothing and he keeps being kind of stoic, but you can see
Yeah.
that he's like devastated, just in his face, that he's devastated. And at the same time, Jasmine arrives to El Toro and sees that it's destroyed. And so
It's it.
she thinks so he thinks Jasmine's dead, she thinks Steven's dead, and they're both devastated by it. But they set up a camp and she's helping take care of the first lady and making sure she's finding like MREs that are left over and making giving people stuff to eat. So like she's very capable in a disaster, gotta say.
Oh yeah. She's like she's very practical and very organized and very resourceful. So
Mm-hmm.
unlike Tiffany. Poor Tiffany,
Yeah.
who decided to go to the rooftop. Just saying.
No, no,
The choices we make in life.
indeed. Um, and I love too that she tells the first lady is like, oh, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm a dancer. And she's like, oh, ballet. And she's like, oh, no, exotic. And the first lady's like, oh, sorry. And she's like, you don't have to be sorry. I have no like shame
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Like
I got
it,
to got to take care of my kid.
and it pays well.
Yeah, pays the bills. So,
Gotta do what I gotta do.
and didn't
Um,
she ask her? Did you have somebody at the base or whatever?
mhm.
And was it your husband? And she goes, no, but was it
His
your
father,
his
and
father? And
she said no, but I had hoped he would be willing to fill the position. I
yeah,
think is
to
what she
take yeah
said,
yeah
which
yeah,
was
which I
sweet.
it was sweet. Yeah.
So back at Area 51, this is the part. This is the part. So they're working on the alien to take off the biomechanical exoskeleton. They're doing like surgery. And first of all, they like make a little incision and then it bursts open, like the head part. That's the part that made me jump because all of them jump, and I was like, made me jump again, even now. And then you see, they think it's like out, right? It's been out for hours, so it's like
Right.
out.
Well, we
But
don't. I thought it was dead.
yeah, I thought it was dead too because
Didn't
they
you?
ask Hiller like how long has it been out, and he's
As
like it's been 3 hours. So I guess they assume if it's out for 3 hours, then it's dead.
it's dead. Yeah. So
But then you see its like crazy little hand start to move. And one of the scientists, he's like, oh, the hand is moving. The arm is
yeah,
moving.
yeah, yeah.
And then it emits this like loud sound. It sounds like feedback. Like a microphone gets too close to the speaker and it's like that noise. And the Dr. Oaken is like holding his head. It's like in his head. And it gets up and then they're all trying to run and it like attacks them. It has all these the tentacles and the arms and it's really tall and
And there's
it's
like this fog or something that
fog. Like it like
fills the
knocks over
room.
stuff that makes a
Yeah.
fog. It fills the room. And then the president and the secretary of defense and the commanding officer and all them go running down there. And suddenly the alien like has Oaken with one of its tentacles like by the throat and presses him against the window because there's like a window separating them. And it's like speaking through him. It's like release me now. And they're like no.
Right.
And the president's like, can we like we want peace. We don't want any problem with you. Can we negotiate peace? And it says no. And the president said, what do you want us to do? And it says die. And it's like, oh. And then it gets in the president's head too. He's like,
Yeah.
holding his head, which is actually, that's a plot line in the sequel that he still has that like psychic
Oh.
connection with the
Oh.
mothership
Oh.
and he has PTSD. And so he can see their plan. Basically, that this alien race like goes from planet to planet and like takes all of its resources and then goes on to the next thing.
He compares them to locusts. He says they just
Yes.
go from one planet to another and they just suck it dry and then they move on to the next one. And he
Hmm.
goes, and we're next. We're it.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a common vibe of aliens in various sci-fi things. Like it's like Galactus from Fantastic Four
Right.
eats the world, you know.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so then they're like, "Is this glass bulletproof?" And the commanding officer's like, "No." And then they all just all the military guys in there just open fire and start shooting the alien. And then the Area 51 guy goes in and does a few last headshots to make sure
Right.
it's dead. But then he goes and checks on Oaken, who is dead,
Is dead.
sadly. Although
But
he's
he was like pressing on his vocal cords, I think, to
yeah.
make him, pretend
Mhm.
like but anyway,
Yeah.
so
But he is in the sequel, so I don't know how that
oh,
works.
that's weird. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Because I thought he took his pulse and he's dead.
Yeah,
So
that's the implication here.
yeah.
So I don't remember how he is in the sequel. But anyways, he is. So now the president is like, okay, let's nuke him. But yeah, they're gonna be
Now,
smart about it.
now we're going to the big stuff.
Yeah.
So
So meanwhile, David is feeling very negative and down. And they're like sort of arguing about the end of their marriage because basically she wanted this job and he didn't, I guess, didn't want her to go. She wanted to take this job. She had these big ambitions. She wanted to make an impact. And he's like, I was happy with the way things were. And she says, like, didn't you want to have something that you like cared about more than yourself? And he's like, well, I did. Meaning it was her. She says that she'd never stopped loving him, but it wasn't enough. So,
she said he wasn't ambitious enough. He didn't have any
yeah.
ambition.
Yeah.
Because she said
So,
even she said you could have been anything that you wanted to do.
mhm.
Because he evidently he is a genius.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she might say it to his dad. Like, I never
Dad,
stopped
yeah.
loving him, but like that wasn't enough, like, for
Right.
him, you
Yeah.
know? So she wanted to do other things and still love him. He wanted her to like stay, you know. He didn't want to go anywhere. She did. So, Anyways,
Yeah.
um, there's a helicopter that's going to California for unclear reasons at this point,
Well,
but
no, you're talking about Hiller.
Hiller sneaks onto the helicopter because there's a
He
helicopter.
takes it. He
He
takes
took
it.
it. Okay.
Yeah, because I wrote down, oh, so now he can fly a helicopter. So
I
because
guess he's just really good.
he says because he tells the guy, he goes, I'm just going to borrow this. I'll bring it back. And the
Yeah.
guy's like, no,
He
no,
the guy
sir.
holds up a gun to him and is like, "Get
Yeah,
out." And he's like I'm going. And he's like,
yeah, yeah.
just tell him I hit you." And like snuck on.
And this guy's like twice Hiller's
It's
size.
way
Like,
bigger than him. But I mean, I think ultimately it's forgiven because he goes and rescues not only Jasmine and Dylan, but the first lady. So I think they probably will let that go. He's just like, don't worry about it. I got to handle something. And the guy's like, no, you can't just take a helicopter. So they test the nuke idea with the ship that's over Houston. Because at this point, I guess the ships they destroyed the biggest cities. They're going like down the list of largest population cities in the United States and the world. So
so I guess
this one,
Baltimore's on the second tier. Is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. And they destroyed like NATO, like the sort of G7 kind of thing. So now they're moving down the list. There's one over Houston, but it's pretty much abandoned. So they're like, okay, we'll test the nuke here. That way, we don't have to kill any civilians.
or many?
Yeah. So they launch the nuke at the ship that's over Houston, and there's a big explosion, and they're asking the guys that are there in this little like vehicle that's protected, I guess, from radiation. Yes, you probably know what it is.
No, who in their right mind would sit there while someone dropped an atom bomb and go, oh, yeah, we'll see if it worked or not? Like, who did they piss off to get that assignment?
True.
It's like, okay, I want Mo, Larry, and Curly to go out here in
Right.
this tank or this Jeep.
Right. Because to
And
me, whenever I think atom bomb, I think that scene in Terminator 2 when she's standing by the fence, you know?
it,
That's like my mental picture. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna
I
be
mean,
anywhere near
like,
this.
how close are you to the drop zone? It's
Right.
like, so,
There were
and
like
no,
these
that's,
guys in a little like tank kind of thing with a little periscope.
they don't even have like radiation suits on or anything. It's like,
No.
I'm like going,
Like, is that
dude,
thing
did
painted
you
with
raise,
lead on the
did you
outside or
raise your
something?
hand
Right.
or were you the last guy who screwed up?
They seemed pretty scared. And guess what? That when they get a visual, the ship is still there. Nothing happened. They nuked Houston for no reason. So then the president's like, okay, well, abort, abort.
Mm-hmm. And the Secretary of Defense goes, no, 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 let's do it again. Let's do it. Let's hit him again.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're an ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he
Before
doesn't
that
call him.
happens,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. The first lady, Stephen gets back with Jasmine and the
Oh,
first lady. And, they have her in the medical bay, and the doctor tells the president that she's had so much internal bleeding, they can't keep up with it. There's nothing they can do. So like she's gonna die.
yeah,
And the daughter's with her, and then he tells the daughter to step away, and he goes and lays with her, and he says, the doctor says you're gonna be just fine. And she says, liar. And then, he says goodbye to her, and then he goes out to see the daughter, and she's like, is mommy sleeping now?
yeah.
And he says, yes. That part was really sad to me. And
It was
she just like,
sad.
he's very sad, and she just like puts her little hand on his hand. That's where
Yeah,
I put one of the sad faces there. That was part that I was like, oh,
not mine yet. So,
no. Okay, I think I have an idea what it might be, but I'm not
okay,
totally sure.
okay.
I think
You know me.
so. Now it's July 4th, and David is very sad and drunk, and he's just knocking stuff over, and he's like, maybe if we destroy the earth, there won't be any resources for them to take from us. And his dad is like, get it together. Don't sit on the cold concrete. You're going to catch a cold. And that is a light bulb for David. He's like, oh, Dad, you just gave me the idea. That's it. So basically, he's going to write a virus to take down, because these force fields, right? Everything's coming from the mothership. So if I can write a virus to disrupt this protective force field, then we can actually destroy them. We'll use their signal against them, right? Because they're using the signals to connect. They're all connected together. If we can kind of knock it out at the source, none of them will be protected.
Yeah.
Um,
See, even drunk, he's smarter than me.
right.
Just say it. So,
And so he shares this obviously with the president, and the Secretary of Defense guy is very skeptical and against this. And this is where I wrote, why does he still have a job after lying? And they have to fly the alien ship to the mothership, and Hiller volunteers. You know, Jeff Goldblum, David explains the whole plan. Hiller volunteers because it's basically like, okay, we're gonna disrupt this signal. We'll have a matter of a few minutes to destroy the other ships, and then we can nuke the mothership. The end. But it's all, we have very small windows for all of this, so it's risky. It's like it's how it works in everything, right? Think of like when they're destroying the Death Star, they have to shoot directly into that little exhaust hole, right? It's that.
as goes, this plays on, pulls from so many other, War of the Worlds with the force shields around
Mm-hmm.
the ships and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I'm talking about the original War of the Worlds movie from 51. That was
Yeah.
1951. But anyway, but yeah, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's
You
a,
can
it's a,
borrow
it's a
from
trope, but it like
it.
works, you know.
It works. Yeah. So
It's got to be hard. If it was easy, then
everybody would do it.
exactly. And I love Jeff Goldblum David says to Hiller, he's like, "You really think you can fly that thing?" And he's like, "You really think you can do all that bullshit you just talked about?"
And they
It's like,
just sort
well,
of look at each other. Yeah. It's like,
and the Secretary of Defense says this is a mistake, and this is where he really messed up. This is where I think he really messed up. He's like, "Mr. President, I don't know if you're just like upset because your wife died, but this is a mistake." And the president is like, "You're fired. Goodbye. This is what we're doing." He should have fired him earlier, but
you're, you're right. So
I think it was probably the personal insult that really put the nail in the coffin.
exactly. Yeah. So, you think that's why I'm upset? Nah.
Maybe we could have figured this all out earlier if you told us before. Here to quote another movie that I like in in um in The Wedding Singer, there's a part where another character gives Adam Sandler information and he's like, "This would have been great to know yesterday." That's what the president should have said. So they're like, "We need more pilots. We need more
Yeah.
planes and we need more pilots because our military is like at 15% right now capacity because they've been destroyed." So, and they're not sending like signals that could be intercepted via satellites because we know that the aliens are tapped into satellites. So they are sending signals all around the world with Morse code. Because we see there's like British officers that are in like Iraq, and
Right.
suddenly like a dude comes up speaking Arabic and they're like, what? And it's like, hold on, they're getting a message in Morse code. I thought we're getting a message in Morse code. The Americans are going to attack. And they're like, finally.
They're launching a counterattack. Personal side note,
Yes.
my uncle, my mother's youngest brother, was a Morse code telegraph operator in the Air Force back
Oh,
in the
nice.
50s and continued to do that, continued to communicate with people all over the world up until he died. But I can remember watching him, and that's
Mm,
what he used was a telegraph key. And he was good. I mean, he was quick, but
that's
and
cool.
he said one of the things that he liked about it was you could go anywhere, you could reach anywhere, and people
Hmm.
understood Morse code.
Yeah.
So
Like a universal
anyway,
language.
yeah. So anyway,
So they're recruiting planes from around the world. And like, it's great too because everyone is cooperating, right? It's like the Japanese and the British and the Russians and like literally like the Israelis, and you see like Arabs and Israelis next to each other with their planes. Like, it's great. We're all united. And there's like no hesitation. Everybody's like, great, let's go. I don't know if that would really happen in real life, but we'll take it. So, but they need more pilots. And they still have this like sort of RV camp right outside in Area 51. So they go outside and they're like, does anyone have pilot experience? Like, we prefer if it's like military, but we'll take anybody. And of course, Russell's like, well, I do. I was in Nam and I fly a crop duster. And he's wasted. So his
Yeah.
son, I love he's like in the briefing with the other pilots, and his son is running coffee into him, and he's like, "Oh, that's strong. Couple more cups of this, and I'll be good."
Yeah, he goes, keep it coming, keep it coming. So,
And also, he says he wants to do this as payback for the aliens taking him.
oh, my little payback.
Yeah. So Steve is getting ready to go fly the alien craft into the mothership, and David is going with him to plant the virus. And Constance does not like that. She's like, "Can't you teach someone else to do it?" And he's like, "I want to make sure it's like done right. Like I wrote it. I need to do it." He's like, "Well, I did always want to save the earth, right?" Because he's always
Yeah,
going on about like recycling. Like the first time we meet him, he's like, people had put cans in the trash instead of the recycling, and he's moving them.
and then she goes, "Oh, now you get ambition."
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, yeah.
Um, and then Steve and Jasmine get married real quick before he goes, and to which I thought, good, you get those benefits, girl. So you get that DIC.
Oh, oh,
I'm just
listen to
saying.
you. I
I'm just
know,
saying. She needs to
I
be
know.
entitled to something. Although
Well, plus, if he, if
hopefully the president would take care of her since she saved his wife. But
I get you.
I
Plus,
did
if he's killed in the line of duty, it's $400,000 payout. So
right. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. So
You
plus, yeah,
just shore things up for her.
yeah, exactly.
Good job, Stephen Hiller. Anyways, David and Connie are witnesses, and she sees that he's still wearing his wedding ring, and so
Yeah.
they have a moment.
Yes. Because she put, doesn't she hold his hand or something?
I think
Or
she like reaches for his hand, yeah,
reaches
because
for
they're
his
sitting
hand?
like kind of
Yeah.
across the aisle from each other, and
Yeah.
then we get the other iconic moment. The president's also going to fly because he, as we said, he was a fighter pilot in the Gulf War, so
Yeah.
he's like, I got to do it. That's what I do. And he stands up and gives a speech to everyone before they go. And I'm just gonna read it briefly. It's not that
Okay.
long.
It's good.
He says, "Good morning. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world, and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind. That word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom, not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We are fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day." And everybody cheers. Woo!
It's a good speech. It
It
really
is a
is.
good speech.
And he delivers it well, don't you think? I
Yes.
mean,
Go
uh,
ahead, Bill Pullman. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Shout out. Shout out. We get a little American history. We got a little like references to Dylan Thomas,
yes. Yeah.
Rage Against the Dying of the Light. Which is funny because that poem comes up in another sci-fi movie. It's in Interstellar. They reference that. So do not go gentle into that good night. So yeah, the president's gonna fly because he's a combat pilot. This is what he did. Although I did write, your kid just lost her mom. I don't know if you need to risk your life. I don't know if she needs to lose two parents in a day, but okay, you gotta do what you gotta do. You're the president. You gotta make sacrifices.
Well, because even the general doesn't really,
He's
he
like, all
doesn't like
right.
the idea. Yeah, it's like,
And he's
dude,
like,
you're the vice president's dead. It's like
yeah.
you got to look at like the line. of
Hmm.
succession here.
Right.
You know,
It's gonna be some random person gonna be the president at this point because probably Congress is dead. He got the cabinet out, but who knows where they went?
it's probably like the Secretary of Agriculture or
I
something. You
was like gonna say the exact same one. I was gonna say the
know,
exact same one. So now it's goodbyes, and I would reckon that one of these moments was your moment. Am I
not
correct?
yet, not
Dang.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, sad.
Well, so David's dad gives him air sick bags uh to take with him. And I love this. His dad at one point had said when he was giving him a pep talk, he was saying that he's not like religious. Like he doesn't since he hasn't believed in God since since your mother died.
Yeah.
But like, we got to do something. So he gives his dad a yarmulke and Torah,
Hmm.
which I thought that
It
was
was a
sweet.
sweet moment. Yeah, it was.
Um, and then they're about to get on. Steve he hugs Constance, Steve hugs Jasmine and Dylan, and he's like, "When we come back, we're gonna light those fireworks." And they're about to go, and then Steve's like, "Wait, we need cigars." And Julius, David's dad, has cigars for them. He's like, "Thank you," and he gives one to David, and is like, "We don't. This is really important, but we don't
Right.
light it until the end." The
Yeah,
fat
but he
lady
goes,
sings.
he goes, this is really important. He goes, I might have just, I almost jinxed the whole thing. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I know. I bet I know what your part is. Okay, never mind.
okay.
Uh, it has to do with Russell. Um, so Russell gets in his plane, and first of all, he almost immediately launches a missile, and then he goes, "I begged a hell of a day to quit drinking." But you could see his kids are there, like watching him, and they're like really proud that he's like doing
Yeah,
something because he's been probably for most of their lives a mess.
a screw up. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
And then Steve and David are taking off in the alien ship, and like it's the
the
little
piece of
they
paper.
have a piece of paper that says like forward, backward, left, right. It's upside down. So he accidentally goes backward instead of forward, and David is like he just goes oops, and David is like, "What are you doing?" Because again, David gets airsick, and then he goes zooming out, and he's like, "Oh, can we go a little slower?"
Then he
David
starts
hates it.
doing like these acrobatic
He's
things, and
like,
he goes,
"Oh, I'm just trying
yeah,
to see how it moves," and David is like, "Stop it." He
stop
hates
it.
it.
Yeah, leave it alone. Just fly straight.
Meanwhile, the General Gray and the others are picking up that the aliens have kind of caught on to what they're doing and are the closest ship is moving toward Area 51 to like come right to them. So David and Steve's ship, they go up towards the mothership into space, which like Steve says, this is what I've wanted to do my whole life. Right? He wanted
Yeah.
to work for NASA. Here you go, you're in space
Here,
now.
you're in space. Yeah. Not
And
courtesy of the United States government, but
no. Well, kind of courtesy of the United States government, just not the part that you thought it would be.
right. That's true. Yeah. So, yeah.
Um, but the mothership like sucks them in. To which Steven is like, I don't like this. And David's like, this is the plan. Perfect.
Yeah. I'd hope they would do this.
Yeah.
He goes, we need to start communicating better.
Yeah. We gotta talk.
Yeah.
So they go in and it's just like a sort of whole like city inside of there. Like you could see all these millions of aliens getting ready. And he's like, David's like, what are they doing? And Steven's like, they're preparing for an invasion, is what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. It's huge. I
And
mean, there's,
he's worried about this. Hiller is not feeling great.
yeah, he
Um,
goes, I don't like this because he can't
yeah.
control the aircraft, the
Yeah.
spacecraft.
Yeah. And also if I didn't say this, they're uploading the virus and they have the nuke with
Right.
them.
And
And
they
once
only
they
have,
launch the nuke, 30
they only have
seconds.
30 seconds to get the hell out of Dodge.
And I
So,
think that's when Constance is like, 30 seconds is not, are you sure you're going to do this? Like, can't you just, no. So, but they get hooked up. David starts uploading the virus. At Area 51, they realize, like, okay, we're safe. We're kind of basically in a bunker. We're floors below the surface, but everybody outside, all the people in the RVs are not. So let's go get them inside. The virus is in. The president and Russell and all of them they're flying and they're trying to shoot, but it's still ineffective. And so the General Gray's like, retreat, like come back here. And the president's like, no, let me try one more time. And he's like, okay, Tom. He calls the president Tom. So
I know.
they're
Yeah.
on good terms, clearly.
They're besties.
They are. Uh, and this time it works. So they're like, fire at will. So they're just like, boom, 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 boom. Because it just like took a second basically for the force field
Yeah,
to go away. And so they're just firing at will. And then, the other ships come out and they're like, all right, guys, now we got to fight. It's like a dog fight.
yeah,
And I love Russell is loving it. He's like, payback's a bitch, ain't it? Then David and Steven are trying to leave the mothership, but they're stuck. Like this thing has like
yeah.
latched onto them. And so
Right.
they're
They're like
trying to
an
like wiggle. And there's an alien that's like what I would describe as like, I guess, air traffic control of the aliens. And he's like, why is that ship moving so much?
is it was it me? Don't the aliens look a little bit like Siamese cats to you?
Yeah,
That's
yes.
sort of like the
The
triangle
shape.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And because he can't see because they have like closed like the windshield, so he can't see into it. And but then he opening the windshield, so David and Steve are like, okay, we have to hide now.
yeah,
Then uh the aliens are now starting to fire on Area 51 as people are still trying to get in, like all the little ships are kind of diving down.
yeah,
And Julius, he's got the yarmulke on now. He's leading prayers, like Hebrew prayers, and the former Secretary of Defense sits with him, and he's like, get in the circle, hold hands, and the guy's like, I'm not Jewish, and he goes, nobody's perfect. Um, and like the big ship is getting right over Area 51, and it's preparing to fire that big beam, like that
yeah. It's
destroyed all the other cities.
it's opening up. It's the bottom part
Hmm.
thingy.
But all of the missiles have been fired, except well, first I think all the missiles have been fired, so they're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, because they're doing an
Like,
inventory or whatever, and
yeah.
we don't have any more missiles.
But
So
then Russell's like, wait, here I am. Sorry, Mr. President. I was
yeah,
kicking some alien butt.
yeah. Got held up a
Um,
little bit back there, but here I am,
yeah,
and
so
I'm
he's
packing.
yeah. So he's ready to go, and the president and the other pilots around him are gonna give him cover so he can fly right up to the because the president basically tried to shoot. You have to kind of get right up under it to like shoot
Yeah,
into it, and the president
because
tried to
it's
shoot
got
from the
like these
side.
panels
Yeah,
that sort
these
of
panels that
protect it.
open. Yeah, so the
Yeah,
president hit one of the panels. You had to kind of get right up under it. So he's going and he's ready to launch his missile, but it doesn't launch. But it's armed. So he's about
right.
to blow up. So he's like, Russell realizes he has to just basically sacrifice himself. He has to kind of kamikaze fly into the thing. And so he says, tell my kids that I love them very much.
And this is the part. That's the part
Yeah.
that got me because you can see that it cuts to his
His
kids.
son, yeah, his oldest son has come into like the command center. Again,
Right.
horrible operational security. They've given up on operational security at this point. They're like, stuff
Anybody can
happening.
just wander
We're
around.
figuring it out as we go. Just come on in. But
Yeah,
he's there
exactly.
and he hears it and he's like, oh my God, like, no.
And he Russell has a picture of him and his kids on his
Hmm.
and he's playing and he's
Yeah.
yeah. And this is the part that yeah,
That's what I figured. Okay. It
yeah.
was like my third guess, but once I was like, oh wait, this
No,
is
you
it.
were on it. Yeah.
When
So
he was getting in the plane, because he set it up
yeah.
specifically. Then I was like, oh, that's gotta be it. So then he's like, all right, you alien assholes. In the words of my generation, up yours. And then when he's finally like kind of his very last thing, he goes, hello, boys, I'm back. And
And he's
then,
in this blue light thing,
yes,
and it just it blows up.
kaboom, and blows up the whole ship. So he does it. And his son, you could see his son's very sad, but he's proud. Like the commander of that base says to him, like, that was an incredibly brave thing that your dad did, and you should be very
Yeah,
proud of him. And he says, I am.
yeah,
Um, and the General Gray from the Marines, he's like, all right, we know how to destroy these, share this information with everyone around the world. And then they start getting word that people are taking them down. Like it's
yeah.
happening.
It's working.
Yeah. And then in the mothership, Stephen and David think they're dead, so they smoke the cigars. Then they launch the nuke because they're like, well,
Yeah, they said, well, there's only one thing left to do,
yeah.
and that's it.
But when they launch the nuke, it knocks them loose. So they're like, oh crap, let's get out of here.
He goes, can you get
Um,
us out of here in 30 seconds? He goes, I didn't hear any fat ladies sing.
yep. So they're going and the aliens are chasing them and David's like back side seat driving. He's like, "You are the worst side seat driver." And they just like, the aliens are closing the door so they can't get out and they get out just as the doors close. And then the president and other remaining pilots land and the people are celebrating and then we see people around the world celebrating
We
as the
see the
crafts are coming down.
I was going to say, yeah, we see the big ships have crashed,
Hmm.
and they're smoldering and smoking and burning and stuff. So,
Yeah. And then they're like, what about David and Hiller? Like,
yeah, the
uh,
delivery boys.
what
Remember they
about our
called them?
delivery boys? Because they were delivering the package.
Yeah.
Um, and they're like, we lost contact with them. But then all of a sudden, someone's like, wait, there's something on the radar. And then you see there's a truck going out to the desert. And I put this, why'd they bring the dog? Why'd they bring the dog out to the desert to see, or the son? Because they don't know that they're alive. They
Now
bring the
it's
little
like,
boy and the dog. What if he
oh,
was dead?
but the other thing is they're out in an open thing truck and they're in the desert. Don't you think the sand come flying up off the
Right.
road would be like whipping their faces, or
Another good question. But I was like, why would you bring the dog with you? Especially the dog. I was like,
in case they had looked for surviving bodies? I don't
I
know.
guess so.
I know.
But
I was thinking, no, let's not send out any of the rescue personnel. Let's send out
right.
let's send out Hiller's new widow.
Yeah. And
and,
the
and,
kid to
and
traumatize him.
right, exactly. Yeah, so that
And
was your
Judd Hirsch.
dad. Yeah, yeah. It's like really, it's like anyway.
This is sort of like the swaggiest that anyone has ever looked.
Oh,
When it's just Will
the
Smith and Jeff Goldblum in the flight suits smoking their cigars, just like strutting
with
from
the
the
with the
ship.
shades,
The shades on.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
They do
yeah.
look really cool though.
They
They look
do.
super cool.
Very much so.
I'm glad the dog got to see that. And then
Also,
everyone, go ahead.
also, Jasmine hasn't changed clothes since like
That's true.
4 days.
Also, the president and his daughter are there too. Why
I
did he bring
know.
his daughter?
I don't know. It's anyway.
But they all look at the alien ship has crashed. They all look at it and they're happy. And the daughter says to the president, "Happy Fourth of July, Daddy." And he says, "Happy Fourth of July to you too." And then Steven tells Dylan, the little boy, like, "Didn't I promise you fireworks?" Because there's like sort of fire raining down
I,
from the sky,
I
like
know
the
it's like
ship from
stuff
the
shooting
ship.
off. Wouldn't you worry about radioactivity at this point?
There's
It's like
so many things. There's so many things. I guess they're all just like living off adrenaline right now. They're just like,
I
woohoo, we're alive
I know. Yeah, well, I could see that, but I'm just
for
saying.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
But
in 30 days it might be a different picture. So
right, right. But that's the end of Independence Day.
I was going, happy 4th of July, honey. Although,
Yeah,
wouldn't it have been nice if he would have said Happy Independence Day?
right.
It's like
Yeah.
reiterate his message to the world because it's no
Mm,
longer a national holiday
yeah. Now it's the world. We're united.
for now.
So, for now.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
but yeah, that's the end of it. I think, like I said, I found some of the personal stories. Like for me, I think my favorite was like Russell and I think his kids is a really compelling one. I think that
that was mine.
David and Constance and his dad, I was compelled by them. Because like Judd Hirsch, like there's not really a point to his character in this movie, but I do love him.
Maybe is kind of like not the voice of reason, but maybe the voice of common sense or something,
Yeah.
like, yeah, the world's going to shit and everything, but here, come on, let's be thankful for what we got, or let's look at, let's see
Hmm.
what we can do or what's next.
Yeah.
And um uh and it wasn't very a big part, maybe a big relationship, but the one between the president and his wife, it
Hmm.
was, and that was a huge loss. I mean, that was a tough moment, when
Hmm.
especially when his little girl was like his mommy sleeping. That
Hmm.
almost got me, but the
Yeah.
biggest one was at the end of it when,
Tell my
you know,
kids I love them very much.
tell my kids I love them very much. He goes, do
Yeah.
me a favor, and it's like you knew that he knew what he had to do,
Hmm.
you know, but I'm back.
Up yours.
Yeah, in my generation. Because if you think about it, yeah, so 1996 when the movie came out, like 25 years ago, he would have been flying in Vietnam. So,
Hmm.
so just saying.
Yeah. Him
Yeah,
and Forrest Gump.
exactly. So, and then, uh, you know, yeah, there is a lot. We just talked about a few things that, you got to suspend disbelief anyway. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
about aliens, invading
Yeah.
Earth. But I liked the movie. I always did.
It's entertaining.
It is. It is. It is a blockbuster, I think.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
one of those movies I think to me if it's on, I'm turning it on because there are bits and pieces of it I like all throughout the movie. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
you
like
know,
I said, I think, like we said, I do think that like it's the thing that really makes it is the acting and the characters and like those smaller stories, right? Because like if without Randy Quaid saying, "Tell my kids I love them very much," him blowing up does it. If he's just a drunk guy, but he's a
right.
drunk guy who's been like a failure to his children, and now he has a redemption, so that has meaning in a
That
way that
whole
it
arc.
wouldn't. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And then, for him,
And with the alien having been
it
abducted
came with
before.
right. It came full circle. It's like payback's a bitch.
And
It's like,
he's vindicated, right?
yeah,
Because they're
they're
real.
real. Yeah, yeah,
Everyone thought that he was like some crank, but he's
yeah. That
like,
he was blowing smoke and
do you see that thing floating over LA?
yeah, dude. Yeah, you
And
see
you said
that?
I was a liar.
Right. Uh-huh.
But yeah. Yeah, and then I think you have like, you know, Hiller's story. He wanted to work for NASA. He didn't get to do that, but he did get to like save the world and like go to space,
Go to
right? And
space.
like
Yeah.
and then he, kind of completed this family that he'd been putting off with Jasmine and the concern about like Jasmine having a non-respectable career and then she saves a bunch of people including the first lady
Right.
and is incredibly resourceful. Saves herself, saves her son, saves her dog, like and just all the survivors of the Los Angeles area like I think so many people got like then David and Constance they reconcile and he does like get an opportunity to like sort of have an ambition bigger
Right.
than he did before, and also demonstrate that he like still really loves her because like his main cause I think that's what his dad tells like his main concern was like that you were okay, like that was
Yeah.
all that he was worried
His
about.
his only thought was to get to you. Was
Yeah.
was to make sure you were all right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's when she says I've never stopped loving him but like that wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then, and his dad kind of guides him. I think because the dad talks about his love for the mom. Like, you know, you gotta, I stopped believing, I stopped praying when that happened, but like, you still gotta like live for something.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Um,
so yeah, like, I think we did get lots of good character arcs with this whole big story. And I think
Agreed.
without those, the big story just like, who cares? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's like interesting, but it's not like that's why like War of the Worlds, like I I've read it before, but it's like it has like it focuses on like a family and their experience of this,
Yeah.
right? If it's just like aliens came to Earth and blew stuff up, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not that
Or
compelling.
yeah. Or Godzilla destroys Tokyo.
Yeah.
So
But it's like you meet someone that is going to be destroyed, and then the destruction really matters. It has much
yeah.
more stakes, even though like the stakes are big, but they're not like personal.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. How you put that. Exactly right. It made us care about the small group of people. So in turn, I think then you get the bigger picture. Then and how they like the president's responsibilities towards
Hmm.
the country and stuff. But then he's lost his wife, and
Hmm.
he's responsible in a way,
Hmm.
for the millions of Americans that have died,
Hmm.
and feels responsible for that. But, here's his chance to, maybe
Hmm.
have some redemption.
Yeah, right. Because at the beginning they're talking about him being a wimp and a wuss and
Yeah,
like all this
yeah,
stuff, and he's
yeah.
like, and that's not the reason why he does it, but it's like he can show who he really is at this moment.
And when they talk about that, and I'm not trying to be a big philosopher and stuff, but Lindsay and I have both worked with veterans for a long time. And then, if you talk to veterans, those are the last people who really want to do anything with fighting or war because
Hmm.
they've seen what it can do and what it
Hmm.
does. So I can understand why someone who was in the military doesn't want that as an option. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's the last alternative
Yeah.
that, you know, s- you know, talk, negotiate, whatever it may be. But the last thing we want to do is to take another life
Right.
or
And I
to
think it's
risk.
because you know firsthand the stakes, whereas like a person, like a politician or a diplomat, like it's hypothetical to them.
Exactly. They've never been in that position. So,
Yeah. The one more thing about stakes that I just thought of. So I took an acting class and like we had a sub one day and she did this exercise with us. She was like, okay, here's this pencil. Come up with a story about this pencil. And it's like, okay, this kid got this pencil from like his mom, and then the mom died, and then the mom got sick, and da 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 da. And she had us like keep coming up with stories about that. Like, I don't even think that was the story, but like she had us keep coming up with stories about this pencil. Like, who does it belong to? How'd they get it? Like, what does it mean to them? And then she broke it. And then it was like, oh,
oh,
but if she had broken the pencil at the beginning, it would be like, oh, well, why'd you break that pencil? I was like, that's
yeah.
weird.
Or
But
write me a
she,
story about a broken pencil.
right. But she made us like this pencil, she made the pencil mean something and then she broke it.
Oh,
And like that,
oh,
I think is like what I think of when we're talking about like these like smaller stories creating the stakes, right? Because it's a pencil. Like, who cares about a pencil? But we have like put meaning into this pencil. This pencil is like this kid's memory of his mom or whatever. So then
yeah,
when you break the pencil, it's like, ooh, right? So it's like when Randy Quaid dies, it's like oof because we saw all the stuff with his kids and like his sort of failure of all that stuff before it, right? So we saw Jeff Goldblum reconcile with his ex-wife right before he goes on this potential suicide mission, like,
yeah,
and that was built up like the whole movie that like he's loved her the whole time, right? Because the first time we see him, his dad is like, "You've been divorced for 3 years. Why do you still have that on?"
yeah. Your wedding ring. And
Yeah. So that just popped into my head as like
no,
stakes, how you
yeah,
create stakes and make people care. And I think that that's a thing. Is this like the best movie in the world? Obviously not, but I think that's what makes a movie like this successful. It makes you care about it.
agreed. So, uh, because we poked a few holes here and there in the movie and some of the plot line and stuff like that. But overall, still, I think it's a worthwhile movie to watch. I think
Hmm.
it's an enjoyable movie to watch.
Hmm.
Um, I really like the message it gives about the Independence Day thing, and
Hmm.
about how it gives at the end of it how if if the stakes are big enough, if the outcome is important enough that we can come together,
Hmm.
as a world, not as a nation. I mean, hell, we can't even get together, as
Yeah.
but as a world, and then put aside all of our differences because, like you said, we're not fighting for our freedom, we're fighting for our existence,
Yeah.
for to
Literally our
survive.
lives.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I will say
uh,
also, just to, I said this isn't the best movie ever, which is true. It was the highest grossing film of 1996. At the time, it was the second highest grossing film ever behind Jurassic Park. And it won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
oh,
Um, and it
okay.
was nominated for Best Sound. So, which makes sense,
Oh,
like
I
technical
could see
awards.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could
But
see
yeah,
that.
so everybody, when you're listening to this, 4th of July will have passed. So I hope you've had a good one. And you can watch this movie if you want to think about it. And
Yeah.
and imagine having a president that could make the speech in this movie.
Or well, or at least rise to the occasion. So,
Yeah.
I will say, in this, I've thought about it, and I've had this belief for a long, long time, and maybe this
Mhm.
movie kind of reinforced it when I first saw this. I firmly believe that anyone who runs for president should have at least served in the military. because then they know what the stakes are. When they have to order someone in harm's way, they have a little bit of an idea of what that entails. So,
Hmm.
that's just my personal opinion. I think that in addition to all the other qualifications, age and so on and so forth, I
Hmm.
think that the president should have some military experience in some way, just for
I
what it's
think I
worth.
think that I appreciate, that's something that on the face I would be like, no, but I think that your reasoning with it, I think makes sense. So you
You
understand the stakes.
the stakes. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you can't. I'm not saying that
Hmm.
you don't, but I just think that but I think that if you never had that experience, because I never had that experience, I was never
Hmm.
in the military. I don't know what the sacrifice is, or what what that looks like, or what the dedication or the devotion to duty is, or to your
Hmm.
but I do think that there are people who do know, or at least
Hmm.
understand, and without that military experience. But I just think it would go a long way
Yeah.
to for
Hmm.
a qualification. But anyway, just a
Yeah.
personal.
No, I think that that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
So
Um, but yeah.
good pick though. Good select, especially for the occasion. So
Yeah, I mean, I figured it made sense and also it deeply scarred me as a 6-year-old.
I can see that. So,
I mean,
oh,
that scene, I still jumped. I'm just saying, when the head opened up, I still was like,
well, who knew? Because you think when you look at it, you don't think that's an exoskeleton. You think that's
right.
the creature.
And you don't
And
expect
that's
it to like, it's like when the face hugger jumps on John
I
Hurt
know
in Alien.
exactly. So,
It's like, oh,
what I would also like a couple of the quotes, because uh, Will Smith's character, he talks first when they're getting briefed about, the mission and stuff, and then he's talking to Harry Connick Jr. and the leader goes, you have something to share with us? And he goes, no, sir, I'm just waiting to go up there and whoop ET's ass. He references ET, and then after he punches the alien, he goes, that's what I call a close encounter. So, we reference a couple of, classic science fiction movies,
yes.
in the
Couple
mean.
Steven Spielberg.
Exactly. So, so classics
Steven
but
Spielberg, who loves aliens because his latest movie that just came out is also about aliens.
I know. Divulgence, is that what is it?
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure. Sorry. Disclosure Day. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so fun movie, long movie. It's
Yes.
I had to split it in two sessions, so just to let you know. So,
Yeah, I took a break and got lunch between
so
watching it. I've refueled with Taco Bell partway
oh,
through.
okay. Oh, excellent choice. So yeah, so
Of
I
course.
did, yeah. But yeah, so hopefully our listeners will enjoy it as much. If they haven't seen it, oh, give it a watch,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
If it's been a while, I think check it out.
yeah.
You'll find something I think enjoyable. For me, Judd Hirsch really did it for me. I love him. I don't know.
And you'll see a lot of familiar faces. If you're a
Hmm.
fan of any movies or television shows,
You
you're
will
going to
see
see
someone you recognize.
exactly. So yeah, so you
If
know,
you're like, I haven't seen Will Smith hit someone in a while, you can watch this movie.
I got tears in my eyes. That was funny. If you haven't seen Will Smith, oh God, that was good,
Don't
Lindsay.
talk about his wife and don't try to invade the earth.
Exactly. So, oh God. Ah,
Anyways,
anyways,
thank you all for listening. Please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you can get our episodes delivered to you every Monday when they come out. Please leave a rating, review, or a comment. Hopefully, it's a nice one, or else we will send Randy Quaid your way. Up yours! You can
I'm
follow us on
back.
you can follow us on Instagram at Some of Our Parts Pod. You'll see all the movies that we've covered so far. You will see whenever a new episode's coming out, a little preview of what's to come and whatever else we decide to share. For example, today I shared from the Academy Museum, they were talking about the costumes in Some Like It Hot. So we shared a video about that. And whatever else comes across our desk that we feel is worth sharing. And with that, bye bye
Take care.
and happy Independence Day.
Happy 4th of July.